Here on the Business Brain Podcast, we'll improve the thinking skills that are getting in your way of doing what you want to do so you can work smarter, move faster, and grow your business with ease. James had this unwritten rule where he always started with the easy stuff, checking things off, and he felt like it gave him momentum to do what he needed to do. Problem was the important work would often not get done. He'd be so busy trying to gain momentum, he'd run out of time that the day would come to an end before he even had time to work on the tasks that actually needed to happen. It was frustrating, exhausted, and often made him feel like he was just spinning in circles. When we improved one thinking skill that helped him shift how he viewed his business, he changed his approach to work. And not only was he able to grow by 20%, he was also able to work less hours. If you're experiencing something similar, I'm here to tell you, you do not have to struggle forever. In this episode 519 of the Business Brain Podcast, I'm going to share with you the exact steps of what you can do to have your own transformation. First, which one of your thinking skills is the strongest and which ones need some help? Find out by taking the thinking skills assessment for free at lifespeaksuniversity.com/C. While you're doing any task, you, without even realizing it, are using your 28 thinking skills. With the skills you need to use are strong, doing the task happens easily. You need to use is weak, doing the task becomes a challenge. The struggle that James had came from a weak thinking skill of understanding reality. Understanding reality is about understanding the world's natural consequences. If I go outside when it's raining and I don't have an umbrella or a raincoat, I am going to get wet. That's reality. Business works the same way. If I scroll on social media, instead of following up on leads, I'm going to be making less money. Once we understand what life is, we can work with it instead of fighting it the whole time. Here's the thing, when understanding reality is weak, we think we can warp the world to make what we want happen for us, except often doesn't. And if we do get the results that we wanted in the end, it always comes with late nights, pressure, and a tons of stress because that's the reality of pushing things off, of not doing things, not working smartly, of trying to think you can get things to happen in a crazy way. Now, standing reality is quite an abstract concept. So, to make it easier for James, I use the analogy of a jar. Imagine your day is like a glass jar. If you have a jar and you fill it up with sand, there's gonna be no room for rocks. However, if I first put in the rocks and then I pour in the sand will be able to go in the gaps and fill up the jar. Every day you get a glass jar. You want to start by filling up your jar by first putting in your rocks. Your rocks are your most important tasks. Your rocks are the things that move the business forward. They're the needle moving tasks that you've got to do. You start with your rocks first. Then you can pour in some pebbles, some small rocks to go in between those gaps. These are other work activities that would be good for you to do, a little bit less important and have a little bit less value or leverage than the big rocks. And then finally, you can add in the sand. The sand is anything extra, anything fun, easy. I like this, but it's not really so important. I want to do it, no problem. But you're going to put that in after you put in your rocks and after you put in your pebbles, and the sand is going to go into all the gaps. That way, you actually do the tasks that move your day forward. And you don't end up coming to the end of the day like, hey, where did the whole entire day gone? And I didn't do anything meaningful to move the business forward. Since understanding reality can be very abstract and a challenging concept, especially for people with ADHD, often it's helpful to make it more tangible. Your challenge this week is to look at each day like a jar. Fill up your jar with your rocks first. What is most important? often you'll notice that many other tasks don't even need to happen when you fill up your jar with what's most important. Then you can put in the pebbles, the other tasks that are valuable but not as high as priority. And then finally, you can add in the sand, all the things that you like to do but aren't really going to make that massive difference. Now you can take this one step further by planning the night before what are going to be your three big rocks. What rocks are you going to do? And make sure you are starting your day with the next day. And for those of you who are ready to take this on an even higher level, think quarterly. What are your rocks for this quarter? Have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Bye for now. That's all for this episode of the Business Brain Podcast. If you enjoyed it, send it to a friend who secretly wants stronger thinking skills too, so together you can grow your businesses with peak brain performance.